Hey everybody out there, so today for you guys we're going to be doing a deck profile on a deck that I've had a lot of fun rebuilding and playing. I profiled this deck on the channel initially when it came out of one of the sets, I think it is, with Relinquish and Crystal Beast and everything of that nature, about a year ago, 2 years maybe now, and that is my Barrel Dragon deck. You know, playing on Duel Links last year with this deck for fun made me want to rebuild it in real life, and that is why we're doing the deck profile for you guys today. So I hope you guys all enjoy this deck profile. Like I said, I really enjoy playing this deck. It's very fun and nostalgic to play, and you can have a lot of fun with it. It's not a meta deck, but it's a fun deck, and you can have a lot of fun playing with this deck. So let us get into the deck profile now. So first off, we run our 3 Desperado Barrel Dragon. This is pretty much the boss monster of the deck, if you want to say. The fact that you can bring it out from your hand very easily if a Dark Machine monster is destroyed. We also run 1 Barrel Dragon as well, which you can easily bring out to some degree. But yeah, these are the ratios we run of these guys. These are your big boys, your boss monsters, quote unquote. This deck has the ability to go into the extra deck and just have use a lot of machine tactics of doing a lot of damage, destroying monsters very easily, things of that nature, thanks to some of the cards you're going to see now. And what I mean by that is things like BM4 Blast Spider is a way to get rid of monsters, and this card's pretty good. I've always liked this card, and it's pretty decent in this deck. There's a bunch of different ways you can get the Barrel Dragons out of your hand by destroying cards and getting benefits off of destroying those cards. But yeah, BM Blast Spider, you run as a 3 of the deck. It is staple. If you actually look at the Yu-Gi-Oh! Archives, there's not a lot of Dark Machine monsters, and the ones that are there, some of them are good and some of them are not so good. So to try to find the proper balance is sometimes a little bit hard, but for the most part you usually need to find some decent Dark Machines, and there hasn't been a lot that have come out over the years, which is why I'm guessing they made some new ones when this set came out. One of the newer ones, I guess you could say, that came out a couple years ago now, is Jack Wyvern. Jack Wyvern is really useful in this deck for its ability. Now, you may say, why are you running Jack Wyvern? What's the purpose of this card in this deck? It doesn't work with any of these other Barrel Dragon cards. What does it do? Let me read it to you very quickly here. You can banish this card and 1 face-up machine monster you control, then target 1 monster in your graveyard. Special summon it. You can only use the effect of Jack Wyvern once per turn. So if you guys remember me saying earlier that you are going to be destroying monsters and whatnot, this guy can reborn your Dark Machine monsters engraved by destroying another monster. And you have a multitude of ways that you can do this. You can do this through Black Salvo. You can also do it from Unknown Synchron. You can use it by having this on the field, bringing back using Call by the Haunted, destroying a card. I mean, you probably would bring back the Barrel Low Dragon, but you understand what I'm trying to say. There's multiple different ways you can do that, and in addition to that, you can trigger the effects of other monsters in your hand, like Desperado Barrel Dragon, because it says when a face-up Dark Machine monster you control is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon this card from your hand. So you understand what I'm trying to say. You'll use this, destroy something, bring this out, bring something else out. You get where this is going. So it's very useful in the deck, and I got star foils thanks to my friends. So yeah, I have high rarity ones of those, I guess. Next we run 3 little mini Barrel Dragons. Nobody runs these anymore, but they're so good, and they're actually really useful in the deck for destroying things, and they're just useful to have, I find, and I just like them in the deck, and they've worked well for me. So 3 of Twin Barrel Dragon. Some people run Blowback Dragon, and if you want to run Blowback Dragon, be my guest. Me personally, I like Twin Barrel Dragon, and I've liked it in the deck ever since. And when I was rebuilding this deck back in November, I said to myself, let me try it out. Tried it. I was like, yeah, it works still well in the deck because you don't have a lot of beaters in this deck. I mean, you have Jack Wyvern and you got this. And this is one of the things you can bring back, destroy, and then use Jack Wyvern's effect, or synchro off with this card, make Exceeds plays with this card. So that's why I like it in this deck, not just for being, you know, a dark machine, which is nice, but also being a level 4 that can help do different things in the deck as well. Next we run our 3 black Salvo. This is essential in the deck, like hands down. I have dual terminal rarity, I love it. But black Salvo is essential. It helps you go for synchro plays. It helps you do plays with Jack Wyvern. It helps you do a multitude of different things in this deck. And I definitely say you must run 3 black Salvo in this deck nowadays. It's very essential. In addition to that, we'd also run 1 more Synchron, which we run Unknown Synchron. This helps you go for synchro plays. Also the fact that he is a dark machine, which is essential. So sometimes what I've done is I'll go special summon, bring out Jack Wyvern, destroy, then you bring something back from the graveyard. So he can be used for synchro plays. Also, in addition to that, he can also be used for, other plays as well, like I just showed you. So 1 Unknown Synchron. Then we run some hand traps. We run 3 Ash Blossom. You can run Call by the Grave or Ash Blossom. I just wanted to run Ash Blossom because this deck doesn't have a lot of interruptions per se, and I wanted Ash Blossom to help cause some more interruptions from the deck. So yeah, 3 Ash Blossoms. Next up, we run 3 Allure of Darkness in the deck. 3 Allure is essential on the deck. Everything in your deck besides Ash Blossom, monster-wise, is dark attribute. Sometimes your deck will brick. Sometimes you need to get to key combos. Allure of Darkness is there for all your needs. 3 limit removal, because limit removal is at 3 of now, and if it's just, actually, if you guys don't know, it'll help you bring out Desperado Barrel Dragon because it says destroyed. And Desperado Barrel Dragon says it can be brought out when a dark machine monster you control is destroyed by battle or card effect. Well, it will be destroyed by card effect, so then you can bring out Desperado Barrel Dragon. So you can do a bunch of damage, bring out Desperado Barrel Dragon, there you go. So it just helps you with OTKing and whatnot and doing a lot of damage on the board. And you can use limit removal in this deck offensive and defensively. I usually don't like running limit removal at more than 2 of because it can get a little bit cloggy in certain machine decks. But in this deck, it works beautifully because it also has an additional thing. If, yeah, my dark machine got destroyed, I bring out a Desperado Barrel Dragon. I know I keep saying that, but you have to understand these different interactions the deck can do because of different hands you may get and different certain fields you may encounter. So that's why I keep bringing that up. Next we run 3 of the field spell, Heavy Metal Raider. This is an essential 3 of in the deck. This field spell is so, it's decent, but you definitely want to get to it as soon as possible to use its effect. We also run 1 Terraforming as well as 1 Metaverse, which you'll see soon. So the field spell Heavy Metal Raiders based off the set and essential into this deck. And I love the fact they should allow the old machine monsters as well. Foolish Barrel of Goods. You may be saying, why are we running Foolish Barrel of Goods in this deck? That is for Photon Blast. That is the only reason why. Because you want to get Photon Blast's effect off. We'll talk more about that later on. But yeah, 2 Foolish Burial for that reason. 1 second coin toss. This is something I just tech in. Sometimes you don't get good coin tosses in the deck. I mean, the original reason I wanted to build this deck is because, not just because of Bandit Keith, but because I wanted a little bit of a gambling deck, you know. And second coin toss, you know, if you don't toss the coins properly the first time, you can redo it. So I just like the 1 second coin toss in the deck. It's just helpful to have. 1 monster reborn. It's essential in the deck. You can reborn all your destroyed monsters that you've done and bring them back and do more stuff. So yeah, pretty straightforward. Photon Blast, 3 of it. Run it. You can. It's so good. So what's the effect that you can do? 1 heads, 500 damage to your opponent. 2, destroy 1 card your opponent controls. 3, look at your opponent's hand, discard a card from their hand. When an effect is activated, toss the coin 2 times. You can banish this card from the graveyard, treat all results as heads. So it works to help out with this and even Twin Barrel, because it makes all the results from that coin flip heads. So that's why you want it in graveyard. The effects are good because it's a continuous trap, but you only need 1 of it. You want it engraved because you can banish in certain key spots to get the effects of Desperado Barrel Dragon off. So that's why. And things of that nature I should mention. So yeah, 3 traps of that. We also run 2 Call by the Haunted and 1 Metaverse. Call by the Haunted is essential because, like I said earlier, it helps you do combo plays. It helps you destroy your monsters. You're destroying your machines to get their effects off. Limit removal, it's destroying your monsters. Call by the Haunted allows you to bring them back. And then Metaverse because you want to get to your field spell as soon as possible to get that all set up. So yep, that's where we run all that. On to the extra deck now, which is kind of interesting. We got our Field Center. But we also run Darn Dragster, which is really nice in the deck. We also run Samurai Destroyer. So FA Darn Dragster and Samurai Destroyer are nice to have. They're machines, which is nice as well. Allied Justice Castaster. This is a dark machine. It works with heavy metal raiders. That's why we run it. And we also run Chambara as well, which can help do OTKs on its own. And especially with limit removal, it can do even crazier OTKs. Next we run Gigantic X, Gear Giant X, Heavy Armored Trained Iron Wolf. This card's don't sleep on it. It's actually pretty decent. Other level 4s we run is Tornado Dragon, Bagasucha, Castel, and I'll put it right here. Evil Swarm Exciton Knight. You guys know what he does. For your Link plays, 1 Wee Witch's Apprentice. Everything's pretty much dark. You can make it sometimes. Nightmare Cerberus, Nightmare Phoenix, Nightmare Unicorn, and lastly, Borload Savage Dragon. So guys, that is the deck profile in a nutshell. It's pretty straightforward. It's a gambling deck, quote unquote, where you can flip coins to get their effects off. And in addition to that, like I was saying earlier, in addition to that, it's a pretty fun deck to play. It's not meta, but it's a fun deck. And I really like the fact that you can construct this deck out of random cards to build a pretty decent deck. This card's really fun to play with. Like, there's not a lot of, because of chance, I guess you could say, and because the fact that, coin flip cards for the most part and dice-based cards have not really been used in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! That much because they're, chance. Besides the, certain cards in the game's history, there's really never been a deck based solely around it besides like maybe Arcanet from GX and some other decks. And the fact that I've always wanted to build like a coin flip based deck like this, where you can flip multiple coins and it's the deck's solely based around it, is so fun. You can play Arcanite monsters, which is cool, but this is just more fun because it's based off Bandit Keith, I find. But yeah, that's just my thoughts on the deck. I hope you guys all enjoyed it. Till next time, take care, have fun dueling, good luck dueling. Hope you like this deck. Don't remember guys, don't cheat in Yu-Gi-Oh! Just because you're playing this deck. And because you're Bandit Keith. But till next time guys, in America here, Seto Kaiba says, take care everybody. Good luck dueling to all of you from America.